Thank you very much, Rabbi Karish, and welcome everybody, all the participants. It's a big and great zchus. It's an honor to be in this amazing OU Chizuk initiative. Over the years, the OU, the Orthodox Union, had served Klal Yisrael in so many ways beyond just kashrut. And this get-together opportunity is another testimony to that, and I really appreciate that. I'd like to say something on the Parsha that's really, I think, is very enlightening and gives a real chizuk. In the Parsha, the Parsha starts off, Vayishlach Yaakov Malachim lefanav, el Esav achiv artzas ir sdei Edom. What does that mean? What does it mean, Malachim? We found in different places in the Torah, Malachim could have two meanings, either messengers, or it could mean angels, literally angels. Rashi points out, first Rashi on the Parsha, it points out that over here we're dealing with real angels. And the Sefer Degel Machne Ephraim wants to know, why is it that it says in the Pasuk over here, Lefanav, Vayishlach Yaakov Malachim Lefanav. He sends Malachim ahead of him. It's really not needed. Why do you need to say that? He brings out a beautiful idea. He says that you need to know that Malachim have such a character trait that you can recognize them even though they go down into this world, into human beings' form, which means sometimes the Malachim come into this world, and when they come to this world, he explains, they dress up, they put a costume on themselves, and they look like human beings. But in reality, it's only a costume. But anybody who can recognize them and knows how to recognize them, he'll see Malachim, he'll see angels. He's not going to see human beings. Therefore, Yaakov Avinu, since they stood in front of him, was able to recognize them and know who stands in front of him. Vayishlach Yaakov Malachim lefanav. They in front of him were Malachim. But Esav, on the other hand, when he saw them as human beings. And therefore, they didn't, for instance, intimidate him in any way. Because it's a question, if they were Malachim, they were angels, why Esav was not intimidated? Why wasn't he scared of them? Why did he need so much convincing? These are Malachim, these are angels. They're doing the job just by being angels. The answer is, says the Degel Machne Ephraim, is that they look like Malachim only to those people that are very elevated and can recognize them. And with that, I like to mention an amazing Chazon Ish. In the letters, in the Igros Chazon Ish, the letter Yud Gimel, he writes the following words. I'll say it in his Lashon in Hebrew, and then I'll translate. Ve'omnam ha'ish hazoiche lidias haTorah, hu holech ben anashim, ve'nidme la'adam haroe la'einayim keven Adam, aval be'emes hu malach, hagar im bnei tmutza, ve'chai chayei atzilus, umroimam al kol brachot tila. What does he say over here? In English, indeed, the man who merits to acquire the Torah knowledge, although he walks amongst people and he looks to all as human beings, but the truth is that he's an angel. He's just an angel who lives with people, and he lives a noble life, and he's elevated above all blessings and praises. Chazon Ish tells us, unbelievable, the person that acquires knowledge of Torah is not a human being. He's a malach, not he's like a malach. He doesn't say he's a form of a malach, he's like a malach. No, he's a mamash, he's a real angel, he's a real malach. That's what the Chazon Ish says. So comes out very interesting according to this. Sometimes you have malachim, you have angels that came down to this world, and the Degel Machne Ephraim says that they formed themselves, they look to us, they put a custom of human beings. And only those that are very elevated, those that are like Yaakov Avinu, can detect them and know who they are. But it's not like that by those that actually were born over here as regular human beings, and they were born to a regular father and mother. If they acquire the knowledge of Torah, they learn Torah, they become scholars in learning Torah, those people transform to being angels. And those people you can recognize. How could you recognize? You see human beings. The truth is, says the Chazon Ish, if they know Torah, if the extreme Talmidei Chachamim, you should know those are not human beings. They walk around people and they look like them, but in reality they're not. They are not people. They're not people. They look like people. They're not people. They are angels. They're real angels. And Chazon Ish, when he was speaking, he knew exactly that, because he knew that those that learn Torah, he was such, and he was among such people. Those that learn Torah transform, they upgrade to being angels. They just look to the eye as people. How interesting it is that you can have two kinds. One, you need very high people to be able to detect. Those are the real Malachim that started off as Malachim. But to us, anybody that comes to such a high level could be recognized even without seeing the angel within him. We need to believe that that's what it is. That's how the Chazon Ish teaches us over here. Beautiful, beautiful insight from the Chazon Ish. I like to continue with our program. We'll start off with Tehilim, reading the Psalms of chapter 23, Perek of Gimel, chapter 23. מזמור לדוד, אדוני רואי לא יחסר, בינות דשא ירביצני, על מי מנוחות ינעלני. נפשי השובב ינחן במקל צדק למען שמו, גם כלך בגיא צל מוות, לא ירא כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפניי שולחן נגד צורריי, תשענת ושמן ראשי כוסי רוויה. טוב החסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתיו את אדוני לאורך ימים. We're going now to chapter 121, קוף כף א', 121. שיר למעלות, אשא עיני אל ההרים, מאין יבוא עזרי. עזרי, מעם אדוני, עושה שמיים וארץ. אל יתן למוט רגליך, אל ינום שומריך, הנה לא ינום, ולא יישן שומר ישראל. אדוני שומריך, אדוני צילך ליד ימינך. יומם השמש לא יככה, וירח בלילה. אדוני ישמורך מכל רע, ישמור את נפשך. אדוני ישמור צאתך ובואך מעתה ועד עולם. And last, we're reading chapter 130, קוף למד, שיר המעלות. ממעמקים קראתיך אדוני, אדוני שמע וקולי, תהיינה אוזניך קשובות לכל תחנוני. עם עוונות תשמוריה, אדוני מי יעמוד, כי מכס אליך למען תברא. קיוויתי אדוני, קיוותה נפשי ולדברו אכלתי. נפשי לאדוני משומרים לבוקר, שומרים לבוקר. יחל ישראל אל אדוני, כי עם אדוני החסד, והרבה עמו פדות, והוא יפדה ישראל מכל עוונותיו. We're going to recite the Mishaberach for those that are ill, that don't feel well, the sick. Mishaberach אבותינו הקדושים, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, משה, אהרון, דוד ושלמה, הוא יברך וירפא את כל חולי עמו ישראל, ובכללם הוא יברך וירפא. בעבור שמתפללים בעבורם, הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם, לחלימם, לרפאותם, לחזיקם, וישלח להם רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, השתב עגלה בזמן קריב, ונאמר אמן. We continue for the אחינו. אחינו, כל בית ישראל הנתונים בצרה ושביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה, המקום ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה, ומאפלה לאורה, משיבוד לגאולה, השתה בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ונאמר אמן. Oh, thank you very much for asking. And the truth is, you know, we from Brooklyn, New York, very, very hard hit, as you all know, probably the in the country or maybe even the world. Definitely the community at large went through a real crisis at the time on April, by Pesach time, even afterwards. It's a real trauma, but Baruch Hashem, things got much better since. It was like a war zone over here. Every 5 minutes you were here an ambulance driving through. It was a scary time, but I think after those hard times we got to better times, and now people are you see that there's a different shine to their face. They became much more elevated, much more friendly, and it did make a change in people's life. I think now people are getting back to themselves and better selves as well. Surely. So we have over here, what we do is we have a couple of things that we run in the community. It's a very large community, as you know, in Brooklyn. One of the things is a Beis Torah, which means we have, since we have a very diverse community, it's the place that we run, the Kollel and the Beis Torah and many other things, is such a place that it's like a shtibel, so to speak, as Landau's, if anybody knows, Landau's in Brooklyn, or Itzkovich in Bnei Brak. This is the Sephardi shtibel that people are there in and out throughout the whole day with endless minyanim. And over there, we stationed a koilel, and we have a Beis Torah. Beis Torah that is serving not only the community, since it's on the phone and on social media as well. Anybody that needs any kind of help in any different means, we are here to serve him in so many different ways that today is available. So it's for the community befrat, and at large also for anybody else, even around the world, whoever needs help. So that's one of the things that we do, besides the other big thing that we have, and that is the kollel. We have young lights that are sitting and learning very seriously, and they're getting smicha to become rabbis and heads of the next communities around New York and abroad, other places as well. So we have all that going on in that. So we have a very large community because it comes in and out. As I said, it's not only a very closed community of some people, but rather it's open for anybody that needs a minyan anytime. And also together with that, we have various programs that are running at the same time. Well, after you sit down in kollel, in yeshiva first, and in kollel, and you learn, you feel that you learned, there's a certain time that you feel that you want to give over, and you want to build, and you want to create something in that. And any yid, it's nothing about me, but any yid feels that he wants to give over and do Kiddush Hashem, wants to give over, first of all, something back to Ribono Shel Olam for doing so much for us, and secondly to the community, to other people as well, benefit them with whatever. So each person does it in their own way. Who knows better than the OU, everything, all the wonderful things that you are doing for Klal Yisrael. So when you get to that point, you really look for the best opportunity around. And today, since things have changed so much in the world, in the last 10, 20 years, it became so much easier to reach out to so many more people. We're trying to take advantage of every opportunity just to be able to bring out those learning that we had in yeshiva and kollel. So we do something with it that other people can benefit in Mitzvah Hashem from it. Well, I think what happened over here, besides there were terrible things that everybody went through, but some beautiful things came out of it as well. And we need to look at the good things that came out. And I like to point out some things, and I think they lasting for after the pandemic as well. And that is, for example, when everybody were home, being home has also some qualities. You are with your family, you get to know your family. We live in such a world that you don't get to see and know that really your family, your kids. There's no time for anything. You run to work very early in the morning, go to shul, then you run to work, then you come back home very late, and you don't have time for anything. Right now, people had to be with their family, with their kids. They had to see where they're holding in their learning. Are they really know they're learning or not? And there's so many things that I saw that within my family and other people that spoke to me, that their kids were not holding where they thought they were holding, or the way they wanted them to be at, and they gave them the right attention and the right approach, and they sat with them and they advanced them in all these things. That's one of the things that I think lasts, because today the most important thing that we have in Klal Yisrael is our family. And the family is so important because it's so easy today. You see there's so many families that are not doing well in so many different ways. And each person, I think, needs to strengthen his own family to make sure that they are strong enough to go through today's age, which is extremely, extremely hard. I like also to mention on a personal note, that's more on a communal note and on a Klal Yisrael note, but on a personal note, for me, it was a great opportunity because we got so many interesting questions in the Beis Torah at the time. Very interesting questions. They came by the hundreds. So many things that you never thought of. That I, on a personal note, also wrote a book of Shalos Utshuvas, responses to those questions in depth, and it's going to be published soon. But that was a benefit for me as well, that I was able to bring out something on a book, on a sefer, something written that could really give me something that I could use for advancing further the initiative that I'm doing with the Beis Torah, with the Kollel, and give that over to other people as well.